So yesterday, kind of funny, Greg Miller interviewed Todd Howard. I like Todd. I know Travis doesn't like Todd. He thinks he's like oh no, wait, Phil, you don't like Phil. You don't like Todd either. I forget. You don't like a lot of things. Rose says he hates Todd. I like Todd. I like Todd just because the way, like, I understand why people don't like it, right? But I like his vision, and he sticks with it. Out of all the shit that he gets and all the stuff that he does, he still has a vision and completes that vision. And if you like it or not, you know, that's each their own, okay? Now, he's like a car salesman. He's a good salesperson, but he's not a developer. I don't know, man. He's made some of the most iconic games that have been out there. If you like them or not, they're still iconic, right? Skyrim is still talked about today. Fallout, obviously because of the show, it's still talked about today, but it would still be talked about because of what it is. Starfield, even though it gets hated on, yet is still in the news cycle because the game, if it's broke on purpose or has problems on purpose, maybe he's playing 4D chess, I don't know, but all the games that he's created are still relevant. I don't think he made it in order to others to make it. Then he took credit just like Jobs. No, the Fallout IP went over to them, but what they did with Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion, all those are all their games. Yeah, his visions and stuff that's happening, and now, you know, with the TV show. So he was on Kind of Funny, and he had an interview with them, and IGN is taking bits and pieces. It's like an hour-long video. I was going to watch it, but I was just like, I don't know if you know, we would sit here and talk about it. If you guys want, I can do it maybe later on the show, but we'll see what happens, right? Or maybe I can push it off to another day. But Todd Howard seemingly teasing 2 unannounced Fallout projects. Now, Fallout 3 Remastered was previously leaked on FTC documents, which we brought up a couple of days ago. Okay, now with the Fallout TV series topping 65 million viewers to become one of the most watched Prime shows ever, to pressure it on the most content set in the wasteland, and Bethesda is seamlessly ready and oblige. He says in the new interview with Kind of Funny Games, director Todd Howard appeared to tease 2 unannounced Fallout projects, saying, "We look at what we're doing with the Fallout franchise, and then we say, do we still feel good about it? I can't reveal it now, but here is a runway of Fallout as a franchise." Okay, he continued, when in Season 2 is happening, what are we doing on mobile? What are we doing on Fallout 76? What are we doing with this thing? What are we doing with all the other things? And then also, and where are we landing? And again, if he could snap my fingers, we would have made them all by now, but ready, I would, but I can't. But then the main thing is, how do we deliver these things on high quality level? And that's always the most important. Now, obviously, that's a joke, right? Because a lot of people that shit on Bethesda, they never give us high quality, but at the same time, they kind of give us high quality because there's something about Bethesda games, right? There's some reason the people that like Bethesda games love Bethesda games, right? Greg Miller brought up when he goes to conventions, he remembers back in the day when he worked for IGN, and he would show up to the conventions and the Summer Game Fest, the E3s, and Bethesda would have this giant booth. And Greg Miller was like, man, I was ready to go, like, oh, what does Bethesda have? And he would go up to the booth to play some games, and they wouldn't have their games there. They would have merch, okay? They would have T-shirts and sweaters and jackets and memorabilia, and there was lines wrapped around the building, he said, okay? He said it was jam-packed all the time. He says, and that's the type of fans that love Bethesda games. And that's 100% true. There's something about it, right? As much shit as I give the problems that were with Starfield, I still put in almost 200 hours into Starfield. There's something about Starfield that just clicks with me. Now, it's not meant for everybody, okay? Fallout 3, Fallout 4, people put in years into these games playing them, not just developing them, okay? People play it more than they actually put the development time into it, okay? Skyrim, to this day, they released it like 17 times, okay? Because people love what it was. Okay, but there's something about Bethesda games. So he says, Howard's oblique comments appear to suggest that at least 2 projects are in development, though. It's unclear what they might be, and there's also be released. Okay. Now, one of the projects that may be Fallout 3 Remaster revealed in the documents accidentally published by the Federal Trade Commission during the court case, which also leaked the Oblivion Remaster and other projects. Now, the remaster did not have a formal date, but appeared to be targeting fiscal year 2024, which ends in June. Now, Howard also said that Fallout 5 will be arriving sometime after Elder Scrolls 6, and that he used one pager for this project. With Elder Scrolls 6 seemingly still in pre-production, though, Fallout 5 may not appear until 2030 or later. Now, in the meantime, Bethesda recently released a long-awaited Fallout 4 next-gen update, which stirred controversy about breaking various key mods, amongst other issues. Now, Bethesda also confirmed that those who own Fallout 4 via the PlayStation Plus collection do not get the next-gen update for free. Now, one way or another, demand for Fallout is higher than it ever thanks to the success of the show, and Bethesda is seamlessly doing its best job to keep up elsewhere. And we talked about Howard in its very own interview, where he clarified some of the big questions for Fallout's timeline, amongst other issues. So he goes into the show. I don't want to spoil it, because if people didn't watch the show, because if they released it week by week, we wouldn't have this conversation. But because they dropped it all at one time, you don't know where people are and what people have watched, so I don't want to ruin it for anybody as far for the Fallout show. Now, as far as what the Fallout series is, now, again, this little part here where he talks about there's two things they're working on, okay? Where's that quote? Okay, we look at what we're doing with the Fallout franchise, and then we say, is this still a good about it? Can I reveal it now? But here are some our runway for Fallout as a franchise. So they're talking about something with the mobile, something with Fallout 76. He says, when in Season 2 is happening, what are we doing on mobile? What are we doing with Fallout 76? Now, obviously, Fallout 76 takes place, it's a prequel to the TV show, but they did put stuff into the game based on Vault 33. Obviously, they can do whatever they want. It's their IP. Now, they also talked about what story is the right story to tell inside of Fallout TV series. He says, when you're playing the games, each person has their own story, right? You can choose what you want to do with certain things in the game. So, like, what's the right story? So when they adapted for television, they kind of try to put themselves in the place of the player, but at the same time, it's never going to sync up exactly what you want, because each of us played the game differently, and that's what's the cool part about Bethesda, right? And he also talked about in Starfield, right? Greg Miller asked him a question. He's like, how do you make these games where you put all the stuff in that gets criticized, right? Like, you have the building mechanics, you have the shipbuilding. In Fallout, you have the base stuff in Fallout 4. You have the Fallout 76 with the multiplayer. You have all these different things. How do you do what you do, even though you get the criticism? And Todd, as honest as could be, I'm paraphrasing here, was like, we just do it because people love just walking around the world and watching a sunset. And if you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to go around collecting junk, you can go around collecting junk. If you want to build a spaceship or whatever, you can do that. They say we put it in the game because we know there's different people that like to play these games. And if you're a person that just wants to play the main story, you can play the main story. And I think that's why I like Bethesda games, right? I like Bethesda games because there's just times that I log into a game and I don't want to do anything, but I just want to kind of be in the world. And that's why I like open world games myself. Now, I understand it's not meant for everybody, but I do love that in Starfield, if you just wanted to be a spaceship designer, you could do that, right? If you wanted to be a Han Solo type character, you could do that. If you wanted to just play the side mission and stop playing, or just travel the solar system, you could do that, right? And everyone looks at that and says, well, that's stupid. There's nothing to do. But that's the thing. In Bethesda games, there's so much to do that it's overwhelming for a lot of people. But when people are gamers, they want to have something to hold their hand to be like, please tell me how to do this thing. And that's not what their games are. And that's why a lot of people look at this and go, I don't like it. Now, on top of that, there's the jankiness and the bugginess of what Bethesda does. But again, sometimes it's just the charm thing that they have. It's funny when a glitch happens or something. But overall, all of the all of the Fallout games, Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Fallout Shelter, right? Even the older ones are beloved by a lot of people. So I think it was an interesting interview. He says a lot of other things that you could like pull in between what him not saying something is saying stuff. And it's hard to put that in context, me saying it to you. But if you watch the video and you watch the interview, it's really about 40 minutes long. It's an hour long, but with the commercials and stuff like that Greg does. It's a really good interview. If you guys are interested in watching on the stream, let me know in the comment section down below or in the live stream, and we'll do that. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about the Fallout projects that are coming up? Do you think they're just going to continue to see? Obviously, Fallout 76 they got a 5-year plan moving forward, which it gets at least another 2 seasons, I would think, out of the Fallout show, where they can go kind of cross-promote, even though it's not in line with it. And then also with, like, Fallout Shelter on mobile, what are they doing with that? I said yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. They could easily kind of give an update in Fallout 76 where all of a sudden they do some sort of cataclysm event like they did in World of Warcraft where it changes the landscape of the land. Maybe you like another bomb falls. Who knows? Maybe all of a sudden you get cryogenically frozen and it pushes you into the future. Who knows, right? Just awesome that you can do whatever they want in this series and what they want to do in the games. Again, these are just my thoughts. If you like what I do here, please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching.